BRICS continues to grow at an incredible pace, with new countries joining the influential group almost every few weeks. Initially formed as a coalition of emerging economies from the global south, BRICS now represents over 40% of the global economy and more than half of the world's population. Just recently, on January 17th, Nigeria officially became a partner country in BRICS, bringing it one step closer to full membership. This is a major development because Nigeria, with the largest population in Africa, ranks as the sixth most populous country in the world, making it a significant addition to the group. The announcement came from the Brazilian government, as Brazil currently holds the BRICS chair for 2025. BRICS operates under a rotating chairmanship system, with South Africa leading in 2023, Russia in 2024, and Brazil in 2025. The Brazilian government has made it clear that BRICS has two main objectives: strengthening South-South cooperation and reforming global governance. Critics from Western countries often argue that BRICS is fragmented or lacks a clear direction, but they miss the bigger picture. Brazil has consistently outlined BRICS's mission to promote deeper political and economic integration among the countries of the global south, particularly those once colonized by Western powers, and to challenge the dominance of Western-led global institutions, especially the United Nations and global financial systems. One key point of contention is the structure of the UN Security Council, which remains heavily influenced by the West. BRICS aims to reform this and other international organizations that continue to serve the interests of former colonial powers. BRICS is not just about cooperation among its member nations. It's about reshaping the global order to better reflect the interests of the global south. In 2024, while Russia held the BRICS chair, the organization released a comprehensive report outlining its ambitions to overhaul the international monetary system. Essentially, BRICS is challenging the dominance of the US dollar in global trade and advocating for a multi-currency system as an alternative. Through initiatives like the BRICS cross-border payment system, these countries are already engaging in trade using their national currencies, reducing their reliance on the US dollar. The goal is to break free from the dollar's hold on global transactions and create new financial systems that are less susceptible to manipulation or seizure by Western powers, as we've seen with Russia, Venezuela, Iran, and Afghanistan. BRICS is also exploring ways to settle trade imbalances using commodities like gold, wheat, and minerals, bypassing traditional financial systems dominated by the West. Many nations from the global south are eager to join BRICS, seeing it as an opportunity to build a new financial order, free from the constraints of colonial legacies. With Nigeria's recent inclusion, BRICS now consists of 19 countries, 10 full members and 9 partner nations, marking a significant milestone in the organization's evolution. Just 2 weeks before Nigeria's inclusion, Indonesia also joined BRICS. As the world's 4th largest population and the 7th largest economy, Indonesia holds significant geopolitical weight. Its inclusion is especially noteworthy given Indonesia's historical role in the non-aligned movement and its hosting of the 1955 Bandung Conference, which united Asian and African countries striving for independence from Western colonialism. In many ways, BRICS is modernizing the vision of the Bandung Conference and the non-aligned movement, striving to establish a 21st-century alternative to the Western-dominated world order, particularly in financial matters. The full BRICS members include Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the original founding nations. Over time, the group has expanded to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and the UAE, with new partner nations such as Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Uganda, and Uzbekistan added in 2024 and 2025. If you look at the top 20 most populous countries on Earth today, you'll notice something remarkable. Half of them are now part of the BRICS bloc. This includes Nigeria, which holds the 6th spot in terms of population size, with over 230 million people as of 2024. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, making this a major milestone for BRICS. When you add up the populations of all 19 BRICS members and their partner countries, you're looking at over 4.3 billion people, 54.6% of the global population, according to data from the International Monetary Fund. This vast population and economic weight give BRICS significant influence on the world stage as it continues to reshape global governance and financial systems. While various data sources may differ slightly, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is widely regarded as one of the most reliable when it comes to global statistics. According to their data, the world's population is estimated to reach 7.92 billion in 2024, and the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, now make up more than half of that total. This demographic trend highlights the growing influence of BRICS on the global stage, and as these nations continue to expand, their share of the global population will only increase. The inclusion of countries like Nigeria within this bloc is particularly significant, not only due to its large population, but also because Nigeria is one of the world's fastest-growing countries in terms of population. India, another member of BRICS, currently holds the title of the world's most populous country, and it too has one of the fastest-growing populations on the planet. From 2024 to 2037, India is expected to add an additional 147 million people to its population. However, Nigeria is quickly catching up. In the next decade and a half, Nigeria is projected to see 65 million births, making it one of the fastest-growing nations by sheer numbers. When we look at the fastest-growing countries in terms of population numbers, rather than percentages, it's striking to see how many of the top 10 are BRICS members. These countries, India, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Indonesia, and Egypt, represent a significant portion of the global demographic shift. The rise of BRICS cannot be ignored. This coalition now represents the majority of the global population, and as the world's population continues to shift towards Africa and Asia, BRICS will play an increasingly important role in shaping the global future. A notable example of this shift is Nigeria's largest city, Lagos, which is expected to become the world's largest megacity by the end of the century. This trend speaks to a broader demographic transformation, with Africa's population projected to make up 38% of the global population by 2100, up from just 18% today. Conversely, Asia's share will decrease from 60% to around 45%. By the end of this century, more than 80% of the world's population will live in either Asia or Africa. The implications of this shift are immense. As BRICS grows in both population size and economic power, it will increasingly dominate global affairs. Despite these changes, it's surprising that many Western political leaders, media figures, and academics still view the world from a Western-centric perspective. The reality is that the West now represents only about 13 to 14% of the global population, and this percentage continues to decline. As BRICS countries continue to grow in both size and influence, the Western worldview will become less reflective of global reality. But it's not just population numbers that are reshaping the world. The economic strength of BRICS nations is another critical factor. Many BRICS countries are seeing some of the fastest-growing economies in the world. China, for example, has the largest economy globally when measured by GDP at purchasing power parity, PPP, and it has become an industrial powerhouse. Together, the 19 BRICS members and their partners represent 42.2% of the global economy. With Nigeria's entry into BRICS, this figure is set to rise further, bringing BRICS closer to controlling half of the world's GDP. Nigeria, for its part, is not only a demographic powerhouse, but it is also a major economic player. With the second-largest economy in Africa, trailing only Egypt, Nigeria plays a pivotal role in Africa's economic future. Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Algeria, and Ethiopia form the core of the continent's growing economic influence. As of now, all 5 of Africa's largest economies are either already part of BRICS or are poised to join soon. Egypt is a full member, Nigeria is a partner, South Africa is a founding member, Algeria was invited to join as a BRICS partner in 2024, and Ethiopia has recently become a full member. Despite facing challenges such as poverty, underdevelopment, and the lasting impact of Western colonialism, these countries' sheer size and rapid economic growth make them significant global players. For instance, Egypt's economy has now surpassed Australia's, and Nigeria's economy has overtaken the Netherlands. These numbers, when calculated using GDP at purchasing power parity, PPP, offer a much clearer picture of a country's economic strength compared to nominal GDP, which is based on exchange rates. When using PPP, countries like Egypt and Nigeria are shown to have far more economic power than nominal GDP figures would suggest. A crucial factor contributing to Nigeria's growing economic influence is its status as Africa's largest oil producer, ranking 15th globally in oil production. BRICS countries already account for over a third of global oil production, and that share is increasing. With the overlap between BRICS and OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, continuing to grow, these countries now wield significant influence in the global oil market. If they collaborate on production decisions, they can impact global oil prices and energy trends. While the United States has emerged as the world's top oil producer due to the shale boom, complicating the global energy market, BRICS's growing dominance in the oil market and the global economy is undeniable. BRICS nations also share common political and economic goals, such as strengthening South-South cooperation and reforming global governance, particularly the international financial system. One of BRICS's main objectives, as highlighted by Brazil, is to reduce the West's dominance over global financial matters. This includes challenging the central role the US dollar plays in the global economy. As more countries join BRICS, the bloc's collective push for alternatives to, or at the very least, significant reforms to, the US-dominated financial system will continue to grow stronger. Some believe that the existing global financial institutions are beyond reform and that new systems are needed, with countries like Nigeria and Ethiopia playing an increasingly vital role in shaping this future. This shift toward a more multipolar world order is one that demands attention. BRICS is no longer a small, niche group of emerging nations. It is a global force with growing influence in both demographics and economic power. If you're interested in understanding these massive changes that are reshaping the world, be sure to stay informed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along. This is Ancient Craft, and I'll see you next time.